Hi, this is my case study on parental apathy, and it's analyzed by Bill Johnson. The problem identification analysis, what I know. What I actually know is that Mrs. Rose is the new assistant principal. She has just completed her educational leadership degree. She wants to have a PTA and PTO groups back at the school because of what she perceives as low parental involvement. The head principal is not wanting to do this because he's tried in the past and has had very disappointing results. The principal is against Mrs. Rose spending much time on this project. Also, what we know is Mrs. Rose finally convinces the principal to hold this meeting with the parents. Announcement was sent out to the students in their classrooms, and they were asked to pass it on to their parents. The announcement actually read, and you can see it there on the screen, and it was a little vague in my opinion, but the announcement basically read that there was going to be a meeting, parents are need to show up, and when the meeting came, only 8 parents showed up for the meeting. The question, should they proceed with this meeting, was one of them that was going through their heads. The problem identification, what I need to know in order to make an informed decision is, number one is, what type of announcement was it? Was it actually a paper handout, or was it just a PA announcement on the school announcement system? So did the parents actually get this announcement is the next question. Whether it be on paper or just verbally, did they actually get the message? And if they did get it, did the parents understand when the meeting was to be held? And another thing is, were there any major conflicts on the same night with this meeting in the school or the community? That would make a difference how many would show up. The problem. The problem is the big disconnection between the school and the parents. That's obviously the overall problem, but underlying problems, it brings up the school's poor line of communication with the parents, leads to lack of parental involvement. They feel like they're maybe not welcomed, or there's these walls that have been built up over time. And there's obviously a lack of a clear vision between the two building principals. They are obviously not on the same page. How to solve this problem? My plan of action is a 3-part process. The first part is to develop clear lines of communication between the school and the parents. Number 2, that to educate all stakeholders, teachers, and parents on the importance of parental involvement in the learning process. And number 3, to collaborate with staff and parents to develop one school clear vision. How am I supposed to develop these clear lines of communication between the school and the parents? Well, step-by-step process. Number 1 is to gather data, conduct surveys, and you're going to gather a lot of parental information. How are we going to contact these parents? Once you determine how you're going to contact these parents, you have to ask them what is their preferred method of communication, and then you're going to organize that by grade level and or their homeroom teacher. Number 3, hold an open house to discuss the importance of this communication. Make it an informal process. Just have the parents in maybe on an evening. It's a two-way street. Make sure they understand communication is 2 ways. The school must communicate with the parents, and also the parents must communicate and send messages to the school. And we need to break down those barriers that have been built up that parents feel like they can't participate. And explain, another thing is explain where the school information has been posted, how to access this information, and other very valuable school resources online. The second thing is to educate all stakeholders. How are we going to do this step by step? Number 1, you're going to hold that beginning of the year open house, and at that open house, you're going to catch those parents that didn't fill out the contact information maybe online. You are going to walk parents and students through online resources that I talked about earlier. And then the homeroom teacher is going to try to break the ice here and try to bring the parents in and show them the importance of parental involvement in the education. It's not going to be really any, really formal process. It's just to show a short video and then discuss that with the parents. You're going to offer opportunities after the videos for the parents to sign up for help in the school, whether it's working on the site council, classroom help, or supervising field trips. And then the final step is the collaboration between staff and parents for this vision that we need to develop. Number one, you have a meeting with the administrators and the staff to develop a school vision that everyone can honor, because in this case study, it was obvious that even the principals were not on the same page. Number two, you're going to select parental leadership team. These are your parents that are what I consider your movers and shakers, and they're going to be asked to help groom the school vision, include them in the collaboration process. Actually, this for the success of all students. And number three, share school vision with all the parents and stakeholders, and you're going to start rebuilding the trust and the partnerships that all stakeholders can have for the benefit of the education. Resolution and success for all students. What is best? Number one, we have to keep in mind what is best for the students. And when parents are actively involved in the child's education, we know that all research says that is leads to better school improvement. Also, when only 8 parents showed up for a parent meeting, there's an obvious problem. And we got to get through those problems between the head principal and the parents due to possible previous interaction that existed. And then students learn best when there is cooperation among everybody, all the stakeholders involved, parents, teachers, and school. Debriefing and reflection. What I was thinking and feeling when I was reading through this case study is I felt definitely frustrated. I was disappointed in the head principal. I would have went ahead and had that meeting with only the 8 people. I felt sad for the students and parents that have been dealing with this lack of communication with their school. And then I started valuing the need for change at JFK School. What are some of the unresolved issues? Well, obviously, the principal's working relationship with the assistant principal. The barriers to communication between the school and the parents need to be resolved. And we need to start healing among all JFK stakeholders. That's the main unresolved issues, in my opinion. Reflecting. Improving these lines of communication, when we reflect upon that, basically we wanted to promote student academic success. We're going to gather contacts of the parents, build relationships with face-to-face and open houses, need to break down barriers and encourage this two-way dialogue. To educate all stakeholders, that was to promote each student's personal well-being. At this open house, have informal education for the parents, how to use online resources. Teachers need to model the good behavior, and you're going to present opportunities for parental involvement at this particular time. And then establishing one clear vision. You're going to promote engagement of the community and the families. And this has to start at the top. It has to start with the administrative cooperation. In this particular case study, I've said it 100 times that the 2 principals are not on the same page, and they need to be. Administration and staff need to collaborate with each other, and after they've collaborated, the parental and the community input needs to be encouraged and valued in this collaboration process. And when all of that takes place, you usually come up with a well-supported school vision. My solution is more communication, not less. More parental involvement, not less. That's my case study. Thank you very much.